online, and I said who were here with us in this room, and I asked him just to show up and say hello to us.
Yeah.
So the team would be complete, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
A very old one, very special one.
What time is Sovakin?
Midnight.
Midnight. Okay.
Oh,
I start quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
I think we can start.
Okay. So, yes, you no, non rispondere, Marti. Do you see the?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So I would talk about the makerspace creation in our library in Fabriano, Italy. You know me, so I pass this. I share this presentation, so I can pass by. As you know me. And just to say about the teaching approach, I am a teacher. No, I am a teacher, I'm a math teacher, and I volunteer in the library. And I want to share just my approach that's very similar to, I think, to 4Ps for Resnick idea. And is a head is a Pestalozzi idea is a Switzerland, is from Switzerland, Pestalozzi. And so we start in Fabriano. Fabriano is in Italy, in the middle of Italy, in the center of Italy. It's very famous town for paper. I will show you. And
Beatrice, Veronica is with us. Hello, Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
everybody.
I can see you because I only my presentation. So,
Okay.
hi, Veronica. Nice to see you. And
Thank you.
I'm
She's
talking
just
about.
Begin. She has just begun.
Yeah, just beginning about talking about the makerspace story in my town, in Fabriano. In my town now is not yet my town because it's not yet. It's not more my town because is I live in Sweden, and Fabriano is in Italy and is a middle-aged town. Very nice buildings in Fabriano. I just touristic information. There is a festival, nice festival. There is a famous tradition, craft tradition. This is a great tradition about creating a painter by dried flowers. They put very small pieces of these flowers and creating a painting. It's so true. So also it's very famous for handmade and industrial paper for high quality. And the story of Fabriano is this. The story of paper in the world is really important for Fabriano because starting from China, where they invented paper, and thanks to Arabians come to Mediterranean Sea and arrived in Fabriano, spread all technique in all parts of Europe. So it's very important and historical town. Why I told you about that? Because we want to, in our makerspace, we continue to think about old technology and the new technology. All the time we try to make relationship about, to find relation about this, our tradition. So this is our library. Is in old church, 33rd century, 13th century, and Eloisa was has been there more than one time. And our makerspace, in fact, is in all our libraries. Is not real in one space, physical space, but usually we meet in this part of the library is the computer lab. And also we have virtual spaces in chat, Telegram. So we discuss all the time virtual and physical. We meet each Saturday. We met. I meet more. They meet each Saturday, and they organize events, workshops, and teaching course for a teaching course. And we started with first of all, mainly from a free software user group. So we started most of people attending the makerspace and participating and founding the makerspace are from open source. So from open software, we arrive open library, and the new idea is that open culture. I mean, to be in all our village, all and the town. So talking to the institutions, I mean, schools, municipality, foundation, enterprises. So we want to make a net, a big net, a technology net, and sharing ideas, our knowledge. The makerspace is why we found that in a library, because in the library you can have any ages, any people from any economical, social situation, from any ethnic. So there is no barriers. Is open space, is a space where all people can come in. So is I think it should be better to invest in a library, in makerspace, in libraries, rather than a school. In my school, in my previous school, we started makerspaces, but there was the same spirit as the same idea in the library. So library is a place where knowledge is shared, and library origin is to share knowledge and to conserve. Also, the library, our library is very good library in the sense that we have in Cunamboli there are books that made just in the period of writing, typing, discover. So there are books from 500 years ago. So and are very particular, special books. Lawrence Medley was the director. She was a director of Fayetteville Free Library, where Makerspace in Library started, and she said library will provide our community with the opportunity to have a free access. So free access is important for our idea. We in our makerspace we experiment high technology and low technology. This is not our picture, and it's not made by us. That's he. Yes. This is, and we organize many events. So Scratch Day, also events on the nature. Here is in the bottom there is a coder dojo. There was a coder dojo on air. I mean on plein air, and so we participate with coder dojo. We are not a coder dojo, but we are mentors of a coder dojo of a town near 20 kilometers far from Fabriano. We organize at the Maker Camp. The first Maker Camp last 6 weeks. It was terrible, very tiring, but very exciting. Many people and many things to do. We, as I told you, we make many things about, LED, tinkering, making, also crafting. We make some very. We experiment many things, and also we had experience with Eloisa. We shared experience with Eloisa. Eloisa came to Italy some years ago. At the end, they seek out. I don't know if it's the first time you come. We did that, but we make this.
I love Italy. I have been there for some time, and after I've met these wonderful people there, oh, of course, we always in touch, inventing, creating, sharing things. It's a very wonderful, and creative people, the Italians. So it's wonderful to work with. I do recommend them.
No, I mean, Luisa told traditional Brazilian story, and we did scratch storytelling. So it's amazing. It also is amazing to start with a project. It was fables on computer. So we would tell traditional. That's another project we had in our heart, to tell a story about our tradition, and to let know this story in the world. And also here we from 2014, 2014. We participate into Make a Fair in Rome. So I participated to Make a Fair. My first Make a Fair was the first Make a Fair in Rome in 2013 with Adriano Parracciani, but I wasn't yet involved in the makerspace, but in a parent association where technology was one of our concern. So we would to teach technology in another way. So starting from this Make a Fair, we have each year a project to present. This is a very important moment for our group to be together, to organize, to involve other people, and so on. So this year we presented this project. It's called Uncinetto Type D. It means crochet. Uncinetto is it means crochet. Is a sort of knitting. I will show you. And this project is made by. I will share the link of the project. So we started to experiment, start to stitch from, there are two years ago. We started 2 years ago to when Andrea presented in Scratch conference, but I couldn't come, but I saw on the proceedings.
Barcelona?
No, Barcelona, in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, okay.
But I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Yes, we know. Someone King, Adele, and me, we were there.
Yeah,
and we visited you.
You participated to the workshop?
No.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
no,
great.
Not in Amsterdam. Or?
Yes, I did not there.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was no. Bordeaux.
This year
Ander was.
Yes, I went to Amsterdam, and I participated into the masterclass with Andrea.
Ah.
The turtle stick, and it was so much fun.
Yes. Wow. What I can say, the boys are very, very interested. One of the we started it that kind of activity. It means we would meet. We met aged people that they teached us to do embroidery. I don't know if is the right word. Embroidery. It's not embroidery, and knitting and crochet, and they started to explain us how to decodify extraction to understand instruction, to find a relation with the instruction you can find in the blocks of Scratch blocks. So it was interesting because aged people, ancient people could really understand what it means with algorithm, and boys and girls participating to the crochet workshop, they could understand what it means when you follow instruction in knitting. I mean, knitting theme. So we also what we liked is one of these guys in the picture was very he didn't like mathematics. Each year he take his examination, extra examination in mathematics because he had problems math. And when he presented the project, he told us that he said, "So I am passionate, mathematics passionate." All of us, we watched him because it was strange, but he was passionate in math, making embroidery. So it was very making cardioid functions. He was very, very interested in working on function representation with embroidery. So it was very, very nice time.
Beatrice, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Here is the embroidery, the things they do using embroidery machines.
Yeah.
As Susan has presented us last week. And Ginetto, o crochê, you have made parallel, something parallel like this, like they do to the embroidery you do with crochet. Is that?
It's parallel.
Is that right?
It's parallel. There was people, children. I have other pictures. So there was children working. So kids are working on embroidery machine.
Okay. Because they already have the program, but
no, they did the program.
Okay.
They did the coding.
Okay.
But the problem, for example,
but the crochet doesn't use embroidery machine.
No. We also have a section, if you want. We call a section about embroidery. We call punto croce, is a cross.
Okay.
It's embroidery with a cross. So other guys was working on that. Other guys working, as I show you, with crochet. Why crochet? Because crochet is the hand. You need to work with hand more than needle, and also with you can do many things, and it's interesting to see boys to work on something that was unusual for them. So all people can work in something that is unusual. So making a code, you know. So we made different event, but each event, all of these things are in the same time. So we made different events, but in each event you can find someone working on crochet, someone working on embroidery, someone working on machine, embroidery machine, someone is coding. The problem, for example, for coding is kids try to tinkering a lot with shape, but the embroidery machine has a lot of constraints. You can do anything. You can pass the same wire 300 times because that takes a lot of time. The embroidery machine has problem to manage these kind of things. So it was interesting also to see the constraint, to see all these things. Also, we would focus old people to see how is very close what they do with what usually software does. So is very understandable for they can understand very well how it works start to stitch, watching the embroidery. So it's something very close to them, so they were interested in. Also, during this LCL of this year, there was a teacher working on arachne meat, but she worked about this meat without thinking about relaying this meat with technology. Also, I found this meat very interesting for our work, because it's coming from this meat. I mean, the meat is arachne, is a nymph that she challenged Athena, the knowledge god. I don't know how to say, to weave a best clothes. I don't know, the best paint ever. So it's a little bit something very similar to think how the technology is interesting to know the history of our technology. So we start also in our project in Rome. We connected our project with an association, Italian association, the Loom Italian Association. That this association is in different towns in Italy. For 3 days we had also a loom. They can understand how it works, a loom, and we started to talk about loom and the jacquard transformation, how jacquard technology changed the way of the workers work, and workers were very worried about this invention, because they say that this invention could take out the work like robots, you know, like the worry we have with robots, these workers had with the jacquard loom. So the story is always repeating the same. So it's important for this is the educational project. So we would to show how we are investigating about history, also about this kind of technique. Why jacquard loom is important? Because thanks to jacquard loom invention and card, we have punch card in computing. So we punch card in computing comes from jacquard loom invention. So we from this passage to this passage, so we started to work. Now we started to work in how textile, how fashion is changing. So we start with this loom. This is very ancient loom. This kind of loom in 2000, not this one, but the way the technology 2000, more than 2000 years ago. And we arrive in this kind of theme, the virtual reality. So thanks to virtual reality, you can design your own clothes, and thanks to 3D printer, we printed the clothes. This is on the left side is not our design. The design we have the design, but we lost the file, so we printed. This another cloth that we have found in the net. But in any case, if you can pass from virtual reality, so you can transform the OBJ format that virtual reality creates in STL, that is the 3D printer can read. And this is a model, very small model, has been from a right-handed person who give us the opportunity to print with his printer, 3D printer, because we had, for 3 years, we had a printer, now it's broken. So he was very kind. And so the idea is to share what we have, what we know. This is the group. I want to show Anders the first 3 person on the left side are Sweden. So they are very, there was a stand near the our stand, and they make some interaction. So how we can, how we manage our makerspace from funding from resources point of view. We have donation, people donate us money. Foundation, there is a great foundation in Fabriano that sometimes give us money, or we participated to contests or events like Google give us material, and the same with the Maker Camp. And but always we have for material. This money we use to buy materials, so Mickey, or to buy or to have materials. Mickey was who give us. So Mickey, Arduino. So the idea is to transform our library. So our library borrows books, DVD, and so on. And now we can borrow Arduino, Mickey, but at the moment we borrow all to teachers asking for, or people of our group. So it's not real for all. It's from people who knows how to use. So this is a very nice picture, but what we would like to do in our library, to share knowledge, but to know the old technology and the new technology, to avoid this kind of sentence. And thank you. Excuse me for my English. I know it's bad. It's impossible to understand. No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Eloisa, the sound, Eloisa. It's muted, your sound.
Eloisa, your microphone.
Okay, yeah, I know I had a lapse on my connection.
I'm showing the comments, Veronica, exactly. If you can understand better how the technology was used for a long time.
Excuse me.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Okay. First of all, I want to thank you very much, Beatrice. And I'm sorry, but I'd like to introduce you, Paola Rich. Yeah. Paola is joining us just now.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm late.
No. Yes, she's a Brazilian.
Brazilian too.
Yes, and now she's living for a while in New York to do her thesis. And just I know this week that she is interested in developing a project in makerspaces in library or something like that. You know, so that's why I really wanted her to come and join us. Of course, we are recording this video and then you can watch later. But first of all, I'd like to introduce you to our group and to Beatrice, very, very friend of me.
Yeah.
And all this wonderful group we have here. So, unfortunately, she has already finished her presentation, but she showed us a lot of good things they have developed in her city, in the library. Fabriano, she told about the city she used to live in. It was a very small city. Fabriano, you know, famous for the paper, for watercolors and things. It's from there. It's a very small city, but they have an old library, beautiful one, that they have refitted all and make wonderful. If you should, then you could show us some pictures. Just summarizing for Paola so she can ask you something like. And so she had developed a lot of things there and do in weekly basis workshop for children and their parents, using not only high tech, but low tech things, and do almost everything. Watercolors, papers, whatever, you know what kind of it, but also in the library, because the importance of the library, because they can access the books, all the surroundings of sharing ideas, experience, old people, students, it's something like that. And so here is Paola. We have Adele from Tunisia. Say hello, Adele. We have Anders. We have Anders from Sweden. Someone King from South Korea.
All countries.
And Veronica from Mexico. And I'm from Brazil, you know.
Nice to meet you all. Sorry I'm late for the meeting. I'll listen more and then I'll reach out to you at another moment as well. Thank you very much.
I shared the presentation.
I saw. Thank you very much. The Google Drive. Great.
She's in her sculpture class.
So I don't want to interrupt your meeting. Continue as you want.
I finished.
Okay.
Yes, she has just finished. So now we are open to questions. So I summarize what she told a little bit so you can have an idea what was talked about. And now we are open to questions. So if you want to make any questions, please feel free. And of course, others too. Okay?
Because I'm that.
Let's go for questions.
Just to say to Paola, but I was in Fabriano until August. Now I just I moved to Sweden. So I was with, I don't know how to say, I stay with a foot in one country, a foot in another country.
I know.
But I think it's, I think that was Uncinetto Type D was my last project.
Excellent. I'm going to definitely read all about it. What I'm thinking right now, we have been doing some work in Brazil in public libraries, but they don't have maker spaces, but they're what we call invention circles. So after reading circles, we do invention circles, but we always take all the material, and it's not necessarily with high-tech stuff. It's mostly like simple electronics and crafts. And what I'm thinking right now, I'm doing my master's at Teachers College in Columbia University, and what I'm thinking for this project, it's a small project, but afterwards I want to develop it more, is creating a kit, very low cost kit, that can stay in libraries. That doesn't mean the library will have a full makerspace, but with this kit, kids and whoever wants to start inventing things after reading circles, they can start slowly a culture of creativity in libraries. Because I do think there's a difference between Italian libraries and Brazilian libraries. Brazilian public libraries are still very empty. So it's also the idea of the project, not just to get them making, but get them going to the library and reading books and interacting with kids from different backgrounds. So basically what I'm breaking my head with is how to make a kit that you don't need to replenish materials, that can be very interesting and that doesn't demand too much infrastructure, but that can spark a lot of creativity. So that's my challenge now.
Okay, maybe you can present your work or your project for the next time. It will be great.
I will.
Paola,
Yes.
Paola, could you speak slowly, a little bit slowly?
Yes, okay.
Okay,
so let's see if the others have some questions. Please, Adele, would you like to start making some questions?
Yes, I
You have a question face.
No, I was really, I loved the work. I loved especially two things, a lot of things actually, but two I will say. The connection between history and actual or the future in a library. This is very interesting to make a project in technology that you start from the history and you continue to the future, and with this you can start to think how it will be the future. The second point, I also love it, the different generation in the library. So you have very young people and old people all together and all making together. So I loved this so much. Yeah, very interesting.
Okay,
thank you, Adel. And is very funny when you are in the library. There's very old people. They are very they are curious. I mean, they have. You understand, because maybe it's similar in French.
No, it's the same.
Okay, existe. Esperanto, we can talk. And also, it's funny because they come near us and they ask what do we do, and they told maybe they were electricians in the past, so they can told us the history of technology more than one book. So.
Okay, I think you could say, how do you involve the children, engage the children that are there for the technology? How do you engage them for taking books? For example, how we did that that time I was there. We took books and read for the children. Do you remember? And then ask them to do something. How to engage children to the books? How to make them use the books, not only the technology. That's why you prefer. Also, we prefer libraries, not only for not paying, but also because we have books and all this stuff. Could you explain a little bit more, please?
Usually when we start an activity, we take all books about this activity. So when we started with uncinetto, we put many books about crochet, about knitting, or when we talk about origami, for example, we did origami with lead. We put many books about origami, so we try to increase the reading also in children. But also we did the activity with. I want to share family. Exactly here. This is a link. Is the link where we discussed with Eloisa, and we start with storytelling. So we tell a story, and they take books on shelf. They are free shelf or books. You can take many books. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, yes, because to engage children not only in technology, but take advantage of being in a library and use the books and introduce the books for children and students or teenagers, because sometimes we have to introduce this to them because they are not used to read books. It's common. It's not only here in Brazil. In Brazil, we have this problem because we have this, even in middle class, we don't have this habit of reading a lot, like French people, for example, or even Italian, I would say. You know, it's a very challenging things to do, to put children and students at all in contact with the books. The value of the books.
But so this is a real special library. Not all libraries are like that in Italy. Also, in Italy there are a project, a pediatric project about reading from 0 to 1 year. So there are many moment that we involve children, very young children, from zero, really from zero, because it depends on what you can tell. And but the library, Fabriano Library, is in the middle of the town, in a special place, and is a warm. Also, it's important when it's in winter. It's a warm place. It's a fresh place when in summer. So it's very good to spend time inside. And as I saw in Sweden libraries are so beautiful. So, but in Italy there are some libraries like that, and you can. Stay inside, but many people come. Is a point of aggregation point. It's there are many people, usually there are many people, mainly in winter, because it's a very warm place. Okay, comfortable place. Thanks to translate. Okay.
You are doing great, no problem. We are not interested in your English. We are interested in your life experience.
No, okay, but
yes, yes, that's why we are here. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And
okay, I have a question. Beatrice. Thank you for your good presentation. And I think the very important factor for K-12 computing education is the teacher factor. Yes. For example, teacher have creative thinkers, or teacher facilitate students' work, students' activity. So do you have any training course for teachers in makerspace?
We had some teachers course and about Scratch and tinkering, but in this project, in particular in this project, we have no any course because it's open. So there are some teachers come to visit us and to participate in our activities now. So it's we would to make a learning continuous learning. Not because we saw that teaching the moment of teaching is limited to 2-3 hours. We invited the teachers. There are not many teachers. There are in the school. There are 4 or 5 teachers coming in our makerspace. Not many, 6, maybe 6. But we started last year with this kind of way to approach the school. I work in the school, but I don't want in my school a makerspace. I mean, I don't want. I am not the principal. I mean, I'm not favorable. You know, I'm not favorable to have a makerspace. Maybe you have a space where you can craft and making. Okay, but when you have library, you can have many people. Also, we have a lot of people coming from other countries. I don't know why. It's strange, you know. So we have also from other school. We are very high level students. There is one Lorenzo. I don't know if you know if you knew Eloisa. There was one student very high level. Is in one of the best university. And there was a student that repeated years. So that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anders, would you like to say something?
Yes, I'm just thinking about. I know it's a small town.
No, small.
Yes. How many?
Not small. Such your town. 30,000.
Okay. That's a little bit different.
Bigger than yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it bigger than yours? Oh, yours is smaller than Fabriano. Are you sure?
Sure. In Sweden, there are small villages. Sweden, yes. All are small villages.
Beautiful. I'm going to moving out there. Okay.
I mean, my center of the municipality is about 5,000 people.
Yeah, 5,000.
But my essence in my thinking is, I think it's how do you have all the people are so engaged to come to the library? I mean, there are a lot of grown-up adult people coming there and sharing their knowledge. How do you do that? I mean, in my small town.
We started with association. We had already parental association. We have free software user group. We have 3 big I mean 3 associations that are connected to each other. There is one association that help us to start, but now it's not still in. I saw not too much interested. We are trying to understand how to involve better. Is art association, and maybe we are too much in technology. So we have to understand. If we want to involve all people, we have to touch no, most of us are technicians. You know, we need to involve different kind of people. So we started with a community already formed. It's something comes very easily. But no, there is only 3 library in Italy that have this kind of makerspace. One is in Pistoia, is USA ambassade pay for the makerspace. All of us are volunteers. All of us are volunteers. And in Pistoia, they are paid. Also in north of Italy, near Milano, but as you said, is a big city, so it's normal they have. Now started one in Rome, but it's a Fab Lab. What is different? I think all of them start to the director or librarians. They want to have a makerspace. Here was people want to have a makerspace, so a director give us the opportunity to use spaces and whatever. But we would like to have a librarian only for us. Only 1-2 hours a week. I mean, this is the problem. We just to talk also about problem. Problem is all of us is volunteers. It's not possible. It's very tiring. Fortunate, we are lucky. We are continuously people coming in our makerspace. Maybe last year, three guys, very nice guys, go to the university, but we have other guys coming from usually at 16 years old. They are very involved in our makerspace. From 16 they come to help us before they take what we do. After they give us what they are learned.
Okay. Now, Veronica, yes, because we are about finishing our session, and I'd like to know if, Veronica, would you like to say something? I'm thinking about Soan King, it's more than midnight. So let's stick with the time, okay?
Okay.
Please, Veronica, go on.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. And I want to tell you about all this experience, the last experience with Simon and Susan, and this experience with Beatrice. Tell me a lot of strategies the teachers could have using the libraries, because libraries are in some places are always without people. Then what is the meaning for a teacher to take that boys and students to that places? I think them, what do you us about how to put the people in the significant understanding of their own learnings, what they do. And when you invite all people to show how to make crochet, or to show how to search, or to show how to count a story, or to show what is the importance of all the knowledge you have, you can put all the generations together. I think it's a wonderful work. I really understand what are you doing, and I really appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Veronica.
I'm just going to say bye to everybody because I have to run to a meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paola.
I have more things to show. We'll invite you all for another chat. And thank you for letting me
Bye,
conversation.
Paola.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes. Also, so once if you have to go, it's late.
Yes, I think it's the same. It is the same kind of question that Anders has made. How to put people inside the library, isn't it?
Sure.
If you let me say something that I know as a foreign person who visits the city, totally unknown for me at first, and I saw how was the empty library before, and how it was crowded after you made this project and developed it. After 3 years old, I have the opportunity to see before and after. And I think that one thing you said is that you contacted the associations. You had access to the associations, and the associations already have people to put inside to call for the project, isn't it? And one other thing, the advantage of being a small town, that you see in Fabriano, at the end of the day, especially in the weekends, everybody is in the street, in the square, talking, just talking without cell phones and talking. It's like for me it was like a journey to the past, when people used to meet each other in groups and meet the neighbor and their friends and talk and stand in the middle of the press, not sitting, not even sitting now, but just talking and sharing experience, feelings, and things like that. So this, I think Fabriano, I can say about Fabriano, they already had the spirit of community.
It's not Fabriano, so it's Mediterranean culture.
Yes, yes. And the fact of being a small place,
is
a safe place, you can stay, because you can't do that in the middle of Rome, for instance, you know?
No.
So small cities sometimes have this advantage. And so I think it's something cultural and the circumstances. And another point, and another thing you told us today, that it's so important that we have not the idea. It's a comfort place to be. In the summer, it's a fresh place, and the winter is a warm place. So it's by the physical, the building by itself is an invitation to be there. So if we are going to make a profit, let's see if it's a comfortable place to be, because you can do the more spectacular stuff, but if it's not a comfortable place, people will not come back. That's, I think it's a very important point to think about. Am I right?
Yeah, but I saw, yes, I saw also here in Helmut, in the small place, is very comfortable, the library. You can eat, you can play. There are very, very nice sofa. We have to change the idea of libraries. But I think most of libraries in Europe have changed. In Italy, it's not so common. I mean, there is a... When I arrived in Fabriano 10 years ago, you can choose your book directly from the shelf, but you have to ask for the book. Very, very old way to think about library. So we are changing, looking for northern library in Europe, because in Europe the northern library are our no, but you know, if 5,000 people like Anders where Anders live, is very, very difficult to organize something. It's not easy. You have to transform the library in the place where all people come. So in our library there was a conference, events, lunch. There's a big lunch. There are
molta pasta.
Pasta. all the user sometimes said, this is a messy place. It is not a library. It's a mess. It's too messy place. It is too noisy.
So when King is saying goodbye, he's going to
go to bed.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
much.
much. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, Sava.
Okay. So.
Okay.
So we're about to finish.
Thank you very much, Adele, Veronica.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your great work. Very inspiring. Very interesting.
And